State Post.
And flat face.
On guard. Attention. Forward. Hook. Mark time. Hook. Squad. Hold. Lamb. Hey. The honor guard requests permission to post the colors.
Permission granted.
Hold. Hold. Breathe in. Hold.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Order. Hold. Left. Hey. Forward. Hook.
And right face.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. And while you're sitting down and adjusting yourself, we want to welcome you here again to the Maryland Police and Correctional Training Commission in the site of Maryland. We call this the seat of law enforcement because they're during the career of every public safety professional in the state of Maryland, whether they work with the Department of Juvenile Services, a correctional officer or a police officer, parole and probation agent, drinking and driving monitor, or some other designated public safety position. They will come through this facility for some type of entry-level training, in-service training, and or advanced training. So we're extremely proud of our facility here, and you only see a portion of our facility here, but on the other side of our compound, we have a full-service driving training range, we have a firearm range, and we have a lot of other things here that you will not get to see today. However, if you want to come back and take a tour and see our facilities, just let me know at the end of this presentation, and we can arrange that if you want to bring some kids who are interested in seeing where law enforcement officers are trained in the state of Maryland. We also have some dignitaries here that I want to take a moment to recognize. We have the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services Secretary, Secretary Ziegler, who is with us this afternoon. Secretary Ziegler. As I was looking to my right over in the audience there, I see some other dignitaries that I want to recognize as well. We have Commissioner Wayne Hill. We have various wardens from our department, and if I miss one or two of you, please excuse me. I saw Warden Phil Morgan. I saw Warden Carolyn Scruggs. I saw Warden Laura Armstead. And I saw Warden Calvin Wilson. I also see many other dignitaries over there, administrators from our department, Security Chief Dean. And our local agencies as well, commanders, majors, captains, lieutenants, and other line staff. We want to thank you all for being here this afternoon. It is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you our guests that are on the dais with us this afternoon. From the Community College of Baltimore County, Professor Linda Fleischer. From the Maryland Police and Correctional Training Commission's Director of Correctional Training, Ms. Jane Sachs. She is in the audience from the Maryland Police and Correctional Training Commission Executive Director, Ms. Karen Kruger. From the Kent County Detention Center, Warden Herbert Dennis. From the Maryland Maryland Police and Correctional Training Commission's Academy Supervisor, Lieutenant Tiffany Taylor Houston. From the Maryland Police and Correctional Training Commission, Correctional Entrance Level Instructor, Sergeant Deshaun Ashley. And from the Patuxent Institution, Class Spokesperson, Chaplain Theodore Hoy. There are also numerous Maryland Police and Correctional Training Commission Academy and staff that are here present this afternoon, as well as various law enforcement officers from other agencies throughout the state of Maryland. And we want to again thank them for taking the opportunity out of their schedule to be here with us this afternoon. At this time, I just want to take a moment and introduce you to our keynote speaker this afternoon, Warden Herbert Dennis. He's been in corrections for over 31 years. That might be longer than some of you have been on the earth. He started his career at the Caroline County Detention Center, eventually taking a position with the Delaware State Prison System. Then after 2 years in Delaware, he returned to Caroline County, where he achieved the rank of captain. Upon retiring from the Caroline County Detention Center in 2014, he accepted the position of warden at the Kent County Detention Center, where he currently serves. Throughout his career in corrections, Mr. Dennis has served in numerous capacities, including correctional officer, community services, internal affairs, deputy warden, and now finally warden. Warden Dennis has always strived to relate to his correctional staff and their understanding, as he was once in their shoes and walked the tears as they once did. He worked with some brilliant leaders and continually works to make corrections a profession that is well respected not only in Caroline County, but throughout the state of Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I give you our keynote speaker this afternoon, Warden Herbert Dennis.
Good afternoon. Actually, before I start talking, somebody that I owe all the thanks to, because I actually never wanted to be a warden. I was actually forced here. The person who forced me here guides my life, and that's God, right? And the only reason that I'm serving as warden is because I wanted to make a difference. And it's important that as correctional officers, that's what you strive to be, to make a difference. This job is not about locking people up. It's about changing lives. We are in the business of changing lives, changing the way people think, giving people a chance. So in order for you to be able to do this job, that has to be the most important thing that you're thinking. If you're not thinking it, you will have a long day in corrections. And I'm telling you that because I served, I was you. I wanted to be, stop. Correction officer is the best job that I ever had. It's the best job that you will probably ever have. It's better than any warden. It's better than any captain. That is the perfect position for you to be in. Take that and run with it. There's no need for me to stand here and tell you how I got to be warden, because each of you will have to find a path and find your way inside of a correctional building. I can stand here and tell you that I worked to tears, I was internal affairs, but that might not be your route. Be yourself. Have a command presence. Walk inside the building with confidence. Every warden that's inside of the jail depends on you. I need you. I know we all need you because most of us are short-staffed. And I'm probably one of the only jailers on the state who has a full staff. Everybody else has closed posts. And it's unacceptable because you have the best profession in public safety. Being a correction officer is something you should be proud of. Hold your head high. There's two professions that get paid the least money. That's teachers and corrections. You deserve so much more. But the way for us to get more is us to be proud. Stand up and show everybody that this is a profession that we can be proud of. But it takes not me, not the commissioner, it takes you. It takes the people that are going to be here. I'm planning on retiring sooner than you think. 30 years is a long time, and I'm telling you, we need you. I don't want to be in front of you a lot because I have 3 babies waiting on you. There are 2, 1, and 11 months, and my wife is working, and I have to babysit. I don't know how I will, but I am going to babysit. And that's important to me. But I'm glad you're smiling now, because work starts tomorrow. And if you work in Kent County, it really starts tomorrow. So get ready. So it's important that you involve your family in your career, okay? This is a very hard profession. You should understand that you can't do this alone. You need your family. Usually correctional officers go home and try to not talk to anybody, and we lose ourselves. You don't want to lose yourself. So you have to find that outlet where you find somebody that you can talk to. And who's better than your family? Find a hobby that you can do after work. Don't find yourself being consumed with just being behind the walls. For anybody who haven't been behind the walls, it's a life-changing thing. But once those doors shut, it's scary. It's a very scary thing. I've been around inmates who were on death row, who killed their family, and I can't imagine being new what that would do to you. I went into it coming from another facility, so I had some experience in doing it. But the way to make it is that you conversate with your senior staff, the wardens, the captains, corporals, fellow officers, and you talk about what's going on in your life, your family. You don't have to talk about what's the reason somebody's in jail. You need to talk to let that out in order for you to succeed in jail. See, I wrote this 3-page thing that I was going to talk about. I ain't used none of it. Because I wanted to be real. And the way for it to be real is for me not to tell you that follow my experience, this is how you're going to grow. No. You haven't even become correctional. You have not put your hand up and sworn with the oath. Once you do that, you're liable for the citizens, for the inmates, for the people you work with, for your families, to protect them. And it's important for you to do that. I'm actually proud of you. I sit there and I tell you, it was the best thing that I ever done for my life. It's been a changing life for my family. My kids went to college. They're all doing better than me. And I pray that all of y'all find some success in the corrections, and you will do well. So, thank you.
Well, Warden, we as parents, we sympathize with your obligations that you have once you leave here. And I just have a couple of suggestions for you. On your way back to Kent County, drive the speed limit. And when you get to the Bay Bridge, don't go for the speed pass, get in line. Because we know what you have coming up, and we know how that is as parents. But we know that you're dedicated not only to your job, but to your family as well, and you're going to get back and meet those obligations as soon as you can, and we wish you all the best with that. With each class, each graduating class selects a class spokesperson. So for this graduating class, they had selected Captain Theodore Hoy from the Patuxent Institution to give the class spokesperson's address. Chaplain.
Dignitaries, academy officers, dedicated staff, and distinguished guests, I present to you Class 1901, the Maryland Correctional Training Academy's first graduating class of 2019. The 7.5-week paramilitary style instruction transformed us from a motley crew into a cohesive unit. We are 37 independently minded individuals from many parts of the world that have been humbled and built up for one purpose: to learn to serve the state of Maryland and particular counties well. And for those who have more senior experience, better. We have overcome many obstacles during our academy education, including pepper spray, calisthenics, defensive tactics, marching, cell extractions, 13 block tests, multiple objectives, and more. Yes, and there were 3 recruits that were also victorious in another arena, the hospital. 2 were taken for observation. The first after an incident in the recruit parking area on an icy winter morning. The second during a routinely rigorous academy day. The third, however, went for an entirely different reason: to see his better half deliver their 3rd child. We have learned much and are grateful for the outstanding teaching and mentorship of our advisor, Sergeant Lead by Example Ashley, who even visited those recruits in the hospital who were injured or ill. We are also grateful for each instructor who sought to mold us. The keep your head on a swivel, Sergeant Laughlin. The fake it till you make it, Sergeant Blue. The no nonsense, Sergeant Holt. The you don't have a job yet, Lieutenant Taylor Houston. The teacher of teachers, Mr. Younger. The 100 slides in rapid time, Mr. Furr. The communicator-in-chief, Mrs. Fleischer. And the Paris Island in almost real time, Sergeant Campbell and Corporal Kessler, among others. All were diligent. All were devoted. All were loyal. Class 1901, we have made it to this point. We have learned and have passed all the tests the Maryland Correctional Training Academy had to give us. Yet there is a tomorrow. What will that entail? My hope is that what we have learned has been fused to what we came here with: integrity. Integrity that is drenched by courage and sealed in such a way that compromise cannot enter. That is my hope. That is our hope. May this hope ring true to the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaplain, for an outstanding class spokesperson address. Also with each class, we also allow the class advisor to come forward and give the class advisor's address. So at this time, I would like to call upon Sergeant Sean Ashley, Academy Instructor for Class 1901, advisor, for his remarks. Sergeant Ashley.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, family, and friends. I would personally like to thank each and every one of you that have been here for the class since day one. From all the studying for the test, fixing up bruises and scratches on their hands, to listening to them complain about this job may not be for them. And for all the encouraging pep talks that I couldn't give, I would like to thank you for being the motivation and support system that kept the class of 1901 coming and giving their all each and every day. They will need that support and encouragement every day as they make their own individual paths in corrections. Wednesday, February 6, 2019. I remember coming into the cafeteria and seeing these recruits sitting and whispering to each other, trying to figure out what was happening, what was next, what was going on. Then came the loud voices telling you on your feet. I could see the nervousness, the looks of why they yelling and critiquing everything from their uniforms to being late to following orders and any and everything else they could do wrong. I recall giving you my expectations of what I wanted and what we as a staff needed to turn you into the great class that stands here today. I just remember saying to myself, this is going to be a long 37 days. I also remember the various phone calls, the texts. Can I talk to you outside the classroom about your individual struggles and problems? But I also remember telling you to relax. Don't let anything stress you out or take you out of your game. I also remember the constant class and advisor talks we had about listening, stop apologizing, following directions, what the rules are, and just repeating those things over and over and over again. But we finally had a breakthrough. Some days, I just wondered, were we going to be great enough to bring it all in together in 37 days and prepare you for corrections? Every pressure imaginable was placed on you for following rules to get these uniforms in order. Studying and passing 13 block tests and all the objective tests that came with it. And while you were dealing with these tests, you guys had physical training, defensive tactics training, pepper spray, fight burn, all the push-ups, planks, squats, to making sure you withdrew from the bank, not only for the class, but also for each individual in the class. The biggest pressure, though, was going from a group of individuals here for a job to a proudful and honorable unit and family that I'm proud to say is my first class. With each and every obstacle, all as a class came through every time in the clutch and got the job done with flying colors and impressing me more and more each day. So today does not stop the goal we had together from the start, but it is only the beginning. Continue to be there for each other and just know that all the staff at the Academy is just one call away. There will be days that you'll be pushed in every way imaginable, both physically and mentally. Remember all the lessons that all of us have given you. But the last thing that I can leave you is this quote from Barack Obama. Making your mark on the world is hard. If it were easy, everybody would do it. But it's not. It takes patience, it takes commitment, and it comes with plenty of failure along the way. The real test is not whether you avoid this failure, because you won't. It's whether you let it harden or shame you into an action, or whether you learn from it, whether you choose to persevere. I will always be here for you, and yes, that includes Fridays as well. Class 1901, you turned me from a sergeant and an instructor to a true leader, and there is nothing more that I can truly thank you for. You are a symbol of my pride, and it was truly my honor and privilege to have served as your class advisor for the graduating class of 1901.
Thank you, Sergeant Ashley. I'm sure your graduating class appreciates those outstanding remarks that will live with them for a long time throughout their correctional career. The Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services has an articulation agreement with the Baltimore County Community College. They've entered into an agreement where the graduates will graduate with college credits for their studies at the Academy. And here to speak with us this afternoon from the Community College of Baltimore County Legal Studies Department is Professor Linda Fleischer.
On behalf of the Community College of Baltimore County, I'd like to congratulate all of the graduates of Class 1901 and wish you much success as you enter the career of corrections. When you report to your facilities, you will be embarking on a career, not just a job. The one thing that makes corrections a career is the amount of training training that is necessary before you can assume responsibilities. We've already talked about the 13 unit exams that you've taken, the numerous practical exercises and multiple objective tests, all that have to be mastered in order to start working. Because of the rigorous academic requirements for the profession, you will each be earning 12 credits from the Community College of Baltimore County. So in addition to being certified as corrections officers by the Training Commission, you will also receive the Corrections Professional Certificate from the Community College of Baltimore County. This certificate is designed for students who are employed or seeking employment in the field of institutional or community corrections. It focuses on current approaches and trends in the supervision of criminal offenders. The 12 credits can also be applied to an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. So after you have the pin, you're going to receive your, you're going to have your badge pinned on your uniform, you're going to walk across and shake a lot of hands, and the last thing that you're going to do is shake my hand. And I'm going to hand you that little red, white, and blue ribbon for you to wear on your uniform that signifies this important step in your academic journey. You all have my contact information, and I'm available to connect you with all the necessary resources, either at CCBC or at a community college near you. You can access your transcript or have an official transcript sent to another program. Once you're settled into your new position, spend time looking at all the options that will advance your academic credentials. There's no doubt that the key to success in any workplace depends on your education. You have an excellent foundation with the Correctional Entry-Level Training Program. You will have ample opportunity to build on this training, and special assignments and promotion will be dependent on your initiative and effort to seek additional education and training. I encourage you to build upon these credits that you're receiving by continuing your education at CCBC or another school. Finally, your education is not ending today just because you're graduating from this academy. It's only just begun. Good luck and stay safe.
Thank you, Professor. Now, what we've all been waiting for, the presentation of badges and certificates. So at this time, I would like to ask the members of our dais to please come forward as we prepare for the pinning of the badges and the presentation of certificates for our graduates. Now, while our members of our dais are doing that, where else can you go to get 7.5 weeks of training, physically fit, 12 college credits, and a certificate, and a full-time salary at the same time? If you know anyone that's interested in that, please see Lieutenant Taylor after today's graduation. We can put you on the right path to get the same thing we did just received. Okay, but seriously though, if you do know someone that's interested in corrections, just talk to any one of our staff in uniform and they will give you additional information. Ladies and gentlemen, when the graduates come forward, please feel free to come forward and take photographs of your loved ones as they're being pinned. The certificates will be delivered in alphabetical order and will be presented to the officers by the members of our dais. Now, our graduates never know who they're going to run into, because I see them going the academic cycle. They don't know who I am. Then one day I came into the dining hall and they all started pointing at me and giggling. I'm still trying to figure out what that was all about. They know. Graduates, here we go. We're going to prepare for the presentation of the gifts and certificates. From the Jessup Correctional Institution, Correctional Officer Adibola Adegbi.
Right face.
From the Production Institution, Correctional Officer Vinay Agbayi. From the Jessup Correctional Institution, Correctional Officer Akani Akabe. From the Baltimore Pretrial Complex, MTC, Correctional Officer Olumide Akinfolu. From the Baltimore Pretrial Complex, Distinguished Graduate Correctional Officer Adibolu Aladi. They're a little nervous. They're ready to graduate. From the Baltimore Pretrial Complex, Correctional Dignitary Officer Trainee Gerard Amos.
Faith.
From the Central Maryland Correctional Facility, Distinguished Graduate Correctional Officer Francis M. Paul.
Right fist.
From the Chesapeake Correctional Facility, Correctional Officer Robin Christian. From the Howard County Department of Corrections, Correctional Officer Danita Cobb. And here to bear witness to her graduation is Director Jack Kavanaugh of the Howard County Detention Center. From the Maryland Correctional Institution, Jessup, Correctional Officer Blossom Easton. From the Central Maryland Correctional Facility, Distinguished Graduate Correctional Officer Falaki Farinloyi. From the Patuxent Institution, Distinguished Graduate Chaplain Theodore Ori. From the Jessup Correctional Institution, Correctional Officer Alex James. From the Baltimore Pretrial Complex, Correctional Officer Oxaranu James.
Left face.
Right face.
Ready, sit.
From the Maryland Reception Diagnostic and Classification Center, Correctional Officer Dixon Cordy. From the Baltimore Pretrial Complex, Correctional Dietary Officer Clarissa Massey.
Does the green lantern have a tagline?
Ask Kevin. Maybe you're gonna have to ask Kevin, I don't know. I don't think so.
I was just gonna say Shazam or whatever.
Carry that drop the phone.
From the Clifton T. Perkins Hospital Center, distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Avontre McMillan. Officer McMillan is being pinned by his captain from the Clifton T. Perkins Hospital Center. From the Patuxent Institution, distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Philip Mensah.
Yeah, maybe you need to do this.
From the Baltimore Pretrial Complex, Correctional Dietary Officer Supervisor Karen Mitchell.
Left face.
From the Jessup Correctional Institution, Correctional Officer Damian Obiaho. From the Maryland Correctional Institution in Jessup, distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Elizabeth Aho. Officer Oho is being pinned by our supervisor, Lieutenant Takia Alawu, from the Maryland Correctional Institution in Jessup. the Central Maryland Correctional Facility, Correctional Officer Azubik Alubayu. From the Baltimore Pretrial Complex, Correctional Dignitary Officer Supervisor Cynthia Perry. I think it's fair to say she has some family in attendance. From the Clifton T. Perkins Hospital Center, distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Keon Peterson. Officer Peterson being pinned by Captain Wise from the Clifton T. Perkins Hospital Center. From the Maryland Correctional Institute for Women, Correctional Officer Delin Pierre. Being pinned by his manager, Sergeant Joel Germain from the Maryland Correctional Institution for Women. And Sergeant Germain has 10 years of service. Thank you for your years of service, sir.
Laugh, face.
From the Montgomery County Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Kevin Power.
Right, face.
Shazam!
Officer Power is being pinned by Captain Masik from the Montgomery County Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation.
Oh, we didn't turn around for his picture.
From the Baltimore Pretrial Complex, Correctional Officer Nama Rema. From the Kent County Department of Corrections, Correctional Officer Antonio Rogers. Officer Rogers is being pinned by Sergeant Burrell from the Kent County Department of Corrections. From the Baltimore Pretrial Complex, distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Mary Sanisi. From the Maryland Reception Diagnostic and Classification Center, Correctional Officer Natasha Small. being benched by her spouse, Correctional Officer Jolanda Williams Smalls from the Baltimore Pretrial Complex. Correctional Officer Williams Smalls had 6 months of service, and thank you for your service. From the Central Maryland Correctional Facility, Correctional Officer Jacob Turner.
Left, face.
From the Central Maryland Correctional Facility, distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Miriam Uzoko. From the Montgomery County Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, Resident Supervisor Alexander Wallace. From the Baltimore Pretrial Complex, distinguished graduate, Correctional Dietary Officer Trainee, Chantel Wallace.